Did this woman deserve to get fired? I hope you watch this whole video and share this with a friend because it's the perfect time capsule of 2021. It's got everything in there: outrage culture, people looking for the next person to cancel, the next scalp, and people using less than 30 seconds of video to make a moral judgment or to judge the intentions of somebody they never met in their life. It's all there, and it's amazing. This is going to blow your mind. This woman right here is realizing something. She's realizing that life is about to change, that record scratch moment has arrived. Oh no, you're probably wondering how I found myself here. Well, she found herself at a dog park. She was walking her dog. It appeared to be after a long night. And she's walking her dog by another couple. Fredrick Joseph was out there. You're going to learn about him in a second. Fredrick Joseph and his fiance had some sort of back and forth with this woman. And you don't hear her say anything at all on the video that would be a fireable offense. You hear them saying to her, what'd you say? Did you say stay in our hood? As if they had a prior conversation to this edited 30-second or less clip where she said stay in your hood. Now let's watch this.
Our hood? No, 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 no.
I invite everyone.
Stay in our hood. Stay in our hood. That's what, I'm sorry, what? Stay in our hood?
All right, now he's following her down the road, filming her. He knows he's got a fish on the line. He's ready to go, and it's not Fredrick Joseph's first fish, which I'll show you. But he says, game on. It's happening right now. And she's about to realize what's happening in real time. You'll see her go from to this really quick. She realizes that she's the fish.
Stay in our hood.
Leave the dog park to stay in our hood?
You just told us to leave the dog park and stay in our hood.
Oh my God, did you just say that to me? Shit.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow.
Wow, the Karenness and the white.
The Karenness and the whiteness. Now, I'm not thin-skinned, but this is the first time race has explicitly been brought into this situation, and it's Fredrick Joseph's fiance who does it. And we got to be real here. It's very clear this young woman is inebriated. She was partying or something, and she's slurring her words. These should have been two ships that just passed in the night. Not every interaction between you and other people is going to be perfect. And those imperfect interactions aren't necessarily racist or the person behind them isn't evil and it doesn't need to be torn down. Just let it go. Move on to the next one. But he's got one on the line, and the Karenness and the whiteness is on full display.
I'm sorry, you were right here, watch this entire thing. Did she just not stand here and tell us to stay in our hood?
Now we bring this guy in. He just happened to be walking by. And at first he's going to be like, yeah. But this guy filming brings him in like, hey, you saw the thing, right? Tell him you saw the thing.
Did.
She
just
did.
You just told us to stay.
That's it. That's all you get. That's all you'll ever see. Less than 30 seconds of video, likely edited by the person who posted it to make themselves look as good as they possibly can. That person is Fredrick Joseph. And here was the post that went viral. At the dog park in Brooklyn with my fiance, and this white woman was threatening to call police and told us to stay in our hood because she had our dog confused with another dog who had been barking loudly. So I started recording, and she tried to slap the phone out of my hand. You saw the video. Then he said, yeah, by the way, we're in Williamsburg. Her dog's name is River. Oh, yeah, somebody on my Instagram found her. Her name is Emma. Oh, yeah, here is her LinkedIn. And it turns out here she is. And also she works at a place called Bevy. Now he said, hey, Derek J. Anderson. He's the CEO of Bevy, where this young woman works. I see that Bevy HQ is attempting to be better about race, equity, etc. Thought you should see this. I'm hoping black colleagues and peers don't have to face this sort of racism from Emma. And the CEO of Bevy said, thank you for this information, Fredrick. We're going to investigate. I'm going to talk to my employee about what happened here. And if there is any need for disciplinary... No, he obviously just fired her because, that's what we do. Derek J. Anderson said, spoke with Fred T. Joseph about his and his fiance's horrific experience from last night. So sorry to them for what has happened. No one should treat people the way we witness. This is extremely troubling. I'll update you shortly, says the CEO. Now, Fred does this a lot, Mr. Fred Joseph, it seems. This was at the beginning of the month of September, in fact. He said, I'm walking my dog in Williamsburg, and I couldn't find my car key, so I'm standing next to the car for a second, thinking about where I put it, and this white woman walks up to me and asks why I'm standing next to the car, and whose car is this? I went off. Leave black people alone, he says. But this one didn't catch on. It seems Fredrick finds himself in a lot of these situations. In fact, another one was when he tried to stay at an Airbnb. He said, we just drove 3 hours. My 8-year-old brother, we were trying to drive him for a getaway, and the house we arrived at ended up having satanic items and stuff for witchcraft rituals. It was just wild. And he went on to yell at Airbnb for all of this stuff because it was a Satan house. And then it turns out Vice did an investigation, and it wasn't a Satan house, not even a little bit. And it turns out Joseph is the CEO of a marketing and storytelling agency called We Have Stories. He's the author of a forthcoming book called The Black Friend, and blah, blah, blah. They go on to talk about him. But they even had to get statements from places like the Church of Satan. The official Twitter account of the Church of Satan said the photos in this thread depict thrift store curiosity and hot topic kitsch, not evidence of satanic rituals. Sounds like you have an overactive imagination and can't tell the difference between supernatural horror movies and reality. But Fred said it was so it was so. And he was chasing down his scalp here. And he was sure he was going to get it because Derek Anderson isn't much of a CEO. Folks, huge lesson for you in life. Never, ever, ever, ever work for a management or a company with a management structure that does not look for you first, that does not say, hey, we heard this story, we want to get your side, that does not throw you under the bus at the first whiff of controversy. Walk out today and never work at a place like that again. Work somewhere where people don't say, hey, the customer is always right, or even the agitator is always right. Work for somebody who will wait and hear you out first before they fire you from some random accusation on the internet. Wait for a good boss, a good company, and a good management structure to be under. Do not work for people like this, like Derek Anderson, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So back at it. He says, Bevy HQ has zero tolerance for discriminatory behavior of any kind. Yesterday, an employee engaged in behavior contrary to our values and has been terminated, so they fired her ass. We apologize deeply to all involved. He says, I personally hope we can have some type of resolution between the two parties beyond this. If we can help, we will. That's the CEO of the company, Derek Anderson. So then Fredrick goes on his spiel. I've been told that they fired her, that Emmy was fired. Even made a video about this.
So I was just told that Bevy has terminated Emma Sarley after her racist attack against my fiance and I in the dog park. And while it's
Racist attack.
That she had to lose her job, I do think that this brings up an important conversation about accountability, especially in a country where Black and brown people, marginalized people as a whole, have seen so little of it.
So he's doing his victory lap here. We got her fired. We got her bounced out. And just like I tried to get the lady earlier, but I didn't get a video or a photo of her trying to be racist to me by this car or this satanic Airbnb thing that didn't work out for me, or did actually. Got a lot of media attention and hype after that. Then somebody pointed out, hey, Amy Cooper, this is the woman who got into it with the bird watcher guy and that whole story that was far beyond what the media reported. They said she has a federal lawsuit against her former employer for firing her without an investigation and falsely labeling her a racist. I hope this girl sues your ass too. He says, do what is right. Let the consequences follow. Do what is right. Let the consequences follow. Do what is right. Okay, remember, you get the point. Remember what Derek Anderson just said, because I'm going to blow him up very, very quickly. Derek Anderson, what's this, my man? What's this? This is Derek Anderson on Twitter saying the real world is what? Using a hard R out there on Twitter. Well, what's this? He's responding in 2009. Unreal. She's a joke. Why go on TV to promote, then walk out? I'm all about people standing up for how they feel, but she's a what? What? The R word again, Derek? Unbelievable. And here he is in 2010. Nah, my experience is that old white guys tend to make old white guy decisions. Maybe so, Derek. Maybe so. Bevy is this company that he's the CEO of in Palo Alto, California, but I guess they must have a New York office or she works remotely. And the guy is the co-founder and CEO of this company who has used language himself that he would probably attack, language that he would go after. Fredrick Joseph, for his part, when there were riots going on in this country, in Kenosha in particular, he was encouraging to burn the police department to the ground. He wanted to donate to the people who were inciting riots in this country. He said a lot of colorful things on Twitter, as a matter of fact. And He says, no, you can't be racist against white people, but in case you forget again, here's a video with that old trope, which is, of course, on its face, absolutely illogical, ridiculous, and bad faith. Those are all the things he's showing there. He even says, so many white people and police officers in Harlem, it doesn't even feel comfortable. Unbelievable. But Derek, my man, we got to do what is right. We got to let the consequences follow. So I ask you, what should the consequences be for Derek Anderson? Mistakes like this cannot be tolerated. We don't need an investigation into that tweet. We don't need to learn any kind of context around it. We do what is right and we let the consequences follow. She thought she was walking her dog in the park, but we can't have those ships passing in the night any longer. We can't have those imperfect conversations that happen between groups of people. Now we film it for clout. Now we chase after one another to try to publicly shame one another, find mobs of people online to identify individuals, to dunk on them and dunk on them and dunk on them again. A drunk girl going down the street saying whatever she said didn't deserve all of this. All of this. Did she deserve to be fired? What about Fredrick? What's he up to? Why does he always seem to find himself in these situations? And the CEO that was so quick to just dump off on his employee when he's tweeted out things far worse than anything she said in this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole debacle. I look forward to seeing them as I always do. If you're new around here, please hit that follow button at facebook.com/thenewsjunkie on the way to 80,000 followers. Hopefully you are next over on youtube.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit subscribe. And thank you to my supporters on both of those platforms. I really do appreciate it. It helps me out. We got new cameras and stuff going in the studio too, and this stuff is very expensive. So I appreciate that support. If you become a supporter, it's a next level thing. And it's very, 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 as I said many times, appreciate it. So I look forward to your comments. Hit the share button to spread this around to your friends. Hit the like button and the react button and all that good stuff. I appreciate you watching as always, and we'll talk to you again real soon.